In this video, I'll show you that by reusing some pieces of wood like these, we can make an item that can have high added value, which you can make to sell and make money from. Hello, I'm Allison. Welcome to another video from the Wood Art channel. If you like this type of content, I invite you to like the video and subscribe to the channel. If you're new here, don't forget to turn on notifications so you don't miss future content. So that you don't miss any details about this project, don't skip the video and watch until the end. The wood that will be used in this project is cedar. Here we have 3 pieces. One of them measures just over 80 centimeters in length by 13 in width. This one is a bit smaller, measuring 52 centimeters in length by 9.5 in width. And this other one measures 40 centimeters by 19. It's about 3.5 centimeters thick. The thickness of these pieces is around 25 millimeters. In the miter saw, I'll cut this piece to exactly 52 centimeters in length. From this piece, I'll cut this end and leave it also with 52 centimeters. In the table saw, I'll make these 2 pieces the same width of 9.5 centimeters. This piece I'll cut square and make it 20 centimeters long. I'll also cut the sides so they are clean and straight. I'll run everything through the thickness planer to have these 3 pieces with the same thickness. This one will be a bit thicker. With everything planed, now I'll make some markings on these parts measuring 52 centimeters. I set the combination square to 4 centimeters and make a mark like this. I'll adjust the square to 11 centimeters, trace a line at the mark that was made. I'll position the ruler exactly 11 centimeters on the line that was made and make the marking like this. With the square, I'll also draw a line. From this line, I'll mark 11 centimeters too. I'll repeat this process until the end of the piece. Here at the end, we have exactly the same measurement as the beginning of the piece. I'll repeat the same process on this other one. Now I set the combination square to 3 centimeters and make the marking like this. In the center of these marks made before, I'll mark this one, skip one, and mark the next one. Now I'll flip the piece and mark the first one. I'll skip this one that has already been made on this side and mark on the other side. I'll repeat this same process on this other piece as well. Now I'll use the ruler. I positioned it exactly at 5.5 centimeters, and I'll make the marking in the opposite direction. I'll repeat this on all the markings. On the markings I made, I'll drill using the hand drill with this 76 millimeter hole saw. To avoid accidents, I'll secure it. I position the drill exactly at the mark made and I'll drill. I will finish the cut from the other side to prevent the wood from chipping. I will finish the drilling from this side. I will do the same process on this other piece as well. The result ended up like this. This was removed. I'll keep it because I might use it in future projects. Now I will join these two pieces. I will align and cut this part with the Japanese saw. Now I will sand these parts. Ideally, I would do this with a drum sander, but since I don't have one, I'll improvise. I will use this spray paint can like this. I will sand using the orbital sander with 120 grit sandpaper. I will round off these parts. For that, I will use the router with this 30mm rounding bit. The depth of the cut is adjusted to approximately 1 centimeter. From this piece, I will use only a part that is 4 centimeters wide. I will make 2 pieces, each 9.5 centimeters long. I will make some markings on these 2 parts again. I have already set the combination square to 2 centimeters. I will make the marking on both sides, on both ends of each piece. On this side, I am making the marking. On the other side, the marking is being made on the opposite side. I will adjust the square to 13 millimeters and make the marking in the opposite direction on all the marks that were made. In the markings, I will drill using the manual drill with this 3.5 millimeter drill bit. The countersink part measures 10 millimeters. Now I will make some markings on this wood. In this direction, it measures 19 centimeters. I set the square to 6 centimeters and I will make 2 markings on each side. Like this and like this. I will repeat the same on the other side. I change the square to 7 centimeters and I will make the marking in the opposite direction. In this direction, the piece measures 20 centimeters. The marking will be done in the opposite direction at the 4 points. It turned out like this. Here the drilling will be done with the same drill bit that was used. I will sand these small pieces. Now I'll start assembling. I'll use one of these pieces. I'll apply wood glue on both sides. Now I'll leave these pieces with the holes aligned and the countersunk part facing out. I'll place them like this. This small piece will serve to provide spacing between them. I'll do the same with this other piece too. It will be inserted at the other end. I've aligned it, and now I'll fasten it using this screw that measures 3.5 millimeters by 40 millimeters. This side is already okay, so I'll turn it over and do the same on the other side. After fastening, I'll clean up the excess glue. I'll use the router again, this time with this 32 millimeter bit. It cuts at 45 degrees. The chamfer will be done on this piece, on the opposite side from where the countersinks were made. The depth of cut of the bit is maximum, approximately 12 millimeters. To cover the screw holes, I'll use this 10 millimeter dowel. It was made from a piece of this wood so it would have the same tone. I'll apply a little glue on the dowel. I'll press it into the hole, always cleaning up the excess glue. I'll gently tap it with the hammer and I'll cut off the excess with the Japanese saw so the cut is very close. This will be done in the remaining holes too. After putting in the dowels, I'll sand again using the orbital sander with 150 grit sandpaper. This way I'll level all the pieces that were glued together, removing any remaining differences. I'll use the router again with the bit that cuts at 45 degrees. Now I've adjusted it to a cutting depth of 6 millimeters, and I'll chamfer the edges of this piece, except for this bottom part and those that have already been rounded. Now I'll sand everything using 180 grit sandpaper. I'll still do manual sanding to get a finer result. I'll use 220 grit sandpaper, and finally I'll use 360 grit sandpaper. To finish the assembly, I'll need to make some markings on this piece. I adjusted 47 millimeters on the square, which is the width of this piece minus the width of this divided by 2. Here it measures 19 centimeters, so I'll make the marking like this. I'll mark at these 4 points. Now I've adjusted to 52 millimeters, and I'll mark in this direction. Here the piece measures 20 centimeters. I'll mark on both sides too. This marking is necessary so that we can center this piece like this. I've secured this part to ease the work. I'll apply the glue here, always cleaning up the excess. I'll fasten it with this screw, measuring 4 millimeters by 50 millimeters. With alignment okay, I can now screw in the screws. Here, I'll also cover the holes with dowels. The final finish will be done by applying only wood sealer so that the item has a velvety appearance. The sealer will be thinned with thinner. I'll apply it using this 350 watt electric sprayer. I'll leave the link to similar models in the video description. I'll also leave links to other equipment and content that may be useful to you. Check it out. Well folks, here's the project ready. It's a mini wine rack with capacity for 4 bottles. A project made from the reuse of some pieces of wood, and that can be sold to make money from it. If you liked the video, leave your like, subscribe to the channel, and activate notifications to be notified every time I post a new video. Share the video with friends who enjoy this type of content so that it can reach more people. Don't forget to leave your comment saying what you thought of this project. I'll be delighted to respond. Thanks for watching, and until the next video.